on the passage of the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 to 37. Jesus uses a Samaritan to show what true love of neighbor really involves. And the passage, a doctor of the law came and asked Jesus what I have to do to receive the inheritance of eternal life. And Jesus answered the master of law and said, what is really written in the law? And the master of law answered, love your God with all your strength, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus said, do this and you live. And then the master of law was not really happy and asked, but who is my neighbor? And then Jesus tell the parable of the Good Samaritan. Say, a man went from Jerusalem to Jericho and was robbed on the way, and a priest and Levite passed through and didn't do anything for that victim. And then a Samaritan man was an enemy of the Jewish people, saw that victim and did something, help that person. And then Jesus at least gives us 6 involvement that we need to have to really show our love to our neighbor as we love ourselves. The first involvement is the Samaritan opened his eyes. He looked at the victim. So many times we just see the people walking next to us, in front of us, but we really don't know what that person did. To open, to see that person is to see what are the needs of that person and to do something. The second involvement is the Samaritan opened his heart. There is a big difference between sympathy and compassion. Sympathy is feeling bad about the other person, what that person is getting through, even though you can pray for that person, but you don't do anything. Compassion always involves action. You want to do something for that person. That's compassion, because you are moved to do something to help that person. The third involvement is the Samaritan opened his hands. So he put bandage on the man's wounds. He put oil and wine, take out from his own clothes and put on the victim, put that victim on his way to transport until the hotel. So many times we don't open our hands to help the other people. The fourth involvement, the Samaritan, he just opened his schedule. For sure, the Samaritan has family, has friends, have some compromise or some business going on and have to do. That's why he was traveling from Samaria to Jericho as well. So, but he opened time in his agenda. How many times we are busy with things we don't really open our agenda to help that person that needs our help in order to survive. Many times people die because we are too busy with our own agenda. The fifth involvement, the Samaritan opened his wallet. To open his wallet is not to give money to the victim or just give a bread or a plate of food to make peace with our mind. No, it's not that. To open the wallet is to create the whole environment that is helping the victim, that to elevate the quality of life. Remember on the beginning what the master of law asked, what I have to do in order to receive the inheritance of life eternal. And then Jesus answered, do this, love God, your neighbor as yourself. So life eternal is not quantity of days, of months, and years of life. It's not timing. is quality of life. Every time I elevate the quality of life of other people, that is life eternal. The only way you become eternal is help other people to elevate their quality of life. How can I say that I love my neighbor if the other people, the other person next to me is on hunger, is naked, is sick, is in the prison and has no job, is just lost in the drugs? How can I say that I really love? Because I didn't elevate the quality of life. So I don't have life eternal. The only way to, or I can live is in the life of other person. And the sixth involvement is the Samaritan opened himself for love, true love, to God, to his neighbor as he said himself. Why? Because there is no way to show that you love yourself that if you cannot demonstrate in your neighbor. Because that victim receive care, love, and protection as you want to receive if you would be in that place. So the Samaritan opened to love because he went to do his business. He said for the owner of the hotel, take care of him, take this money, and when I come back, if you spend more, I will pay you. He came back to see that person. If you really love someone, you check on that person because that person is important. It's part now of your life. And that's the way you can show that you really love your neighbor. That's the way that you can show that you really love your God with all your strength, with all your heart, with your soul, and with your mind. And there's no other way, because you want to receive the same protection, care, and love if you would be on the place of that victim. So if you are really important for someone, you want to do it for that person. The neighbor is not the victim. The neighbor is yourself when you do something without interest for the other people. There is no other way. Don't wait for the other become your neighbor. You are the one who have to go there and become the neighbor. And the order to become the neighbor is only to show how much you love yourself. If you are able really to do something for other people, so you can say, I love myself. If not, it's just selfishness on your part. And when you really love your neighbor, then you can say, I really love God, because God is present in that person who is victimized, and God is present in every one of us. So God bless every one of us to get involved on this task to show our love to ourselves, in our neighbor, and to God. Amen.